what do you do when you have a problem with a part on your old Mercedes-Benz and you can't find a replacement, and you find out they're no longer made? And then you find out they're pretty sophisticated, so it's not something that you can just easily fix yourself. And so is the case with this vacuum control valve. It's known as the VCV. It sits on the top rear part of the fuel injection pump on 1980 to 1985 Mercedes diesel engines, at least most of them, okay? And this part is critical to the operation of the transmission, because as throttle is applied, vacuum comes into this valve and leaves and goes to the transmission, and this regulates the amount of vacuum that's getting to the modulator, and it controls the quality of the shifts. So if you have 240D or 300D or 300SD and you can't get the transmission to shift right, this could be the problem. And that's when you find out, whoops, these are no longer available. You got to be really careful about buying one of these used on eBay unless the seller is willing to take it apart and confirm that it's not damaged. Now, there's a couple things that go wrong with these, very common, and I'm going to show them to you in this video. Hopefully this will help you if you're struggling with your own VCV. I do have a kit on my website with a tool, with instructions how to take these apart, how to test them, how to clean them, possibly get them working again. But I have to tell you that not all are repairable, and that's what I want to demonstrate here. The first thing that becomes a problem is the spring that's located down in here. It's a big wound coil spring, and this spring gives back pressure when throttle is applied. Here you can see this lever. The spring is engaging right here, and it becomes pretty stiff as it comes up here and hits the stop. So with age and heat and vibration, those springs weaken, and this is what they operate like. They're just loose. Now you can adjust the tension on the spring through this little cover, but a lot of times the springs are too far gone. You can see it's not even engaging until it's almost well over half the way up, and then it comes up and hits the stop, and there's movement here and slop. Same with this one. Spring is probably fatigued. That's what I would say. So you kind of want to keep an eye on that. There's not much you can do to fix that short of getting a replacement. It's too hard to try to take this apart and just mess with a spring. But the other part that fails is even more complex and more unrepairable. And here is the other part that wears out due to age and engine vibration. High engine vibration will destroy this part. If you look, there's a little teeny check valve down in there, and this valve opens and closes like that. You can imagine how many times this is opening and closing with the throttle. Plus any engine vibration up there is going to just make that thing shake. And what happens is there is a lip right here that keeps this inside that valve, and when that wears out, this comes out and it's not repairable. So I'm going to show you with this one. See what's happened here? It's worn along this edge right there, and this can't stay in position. So this one's no good. Take a look at this one. Now you can see how it's just popped out. Even if I force it back in, it'll eventually, pop out. You can see this edge here, and this outer edge in the housing is worn out. That one's no good. Here's one that is not coming out. It's worn, but it's staying down in there. But the problem with this one is that check valve in there is seized. So this one's no good. And then finally, this is a mystery. I have no idea how that got damaged. But look, this is jammed. You can't even push down on it. And you want to inspect this right here. Make sure the movement is even. As this pushes down, you see the lever here. When this lever moves, this comes up and pushes this down. It's under spring tension, so it's only going to move it a little bit. I think you'll find it interesting as I show you what's inside one of these. I did cut this loose. You had to cut this band off to get into it, but this is what's inside. There's a pin right there, solid pin. There you can see the check ball right there. But look at this, here's a rubber diaphragm. So guess what happens when that rubber diaphragm tears? But you can see the operation here as this pushes down. Put this in place, you can see the pin. Put that like that. So as this pushes down, that releases that ball check valve. So if the ball check valve's worn out, or it's frozen, or the diaphragm's torn, or this piece here is all worn out, so this pops out, then you're out of luck. You're going to have to find a good used replacement. Hope you diesel owners found that helpful in your quest to find a good vacuum control valve or to repair the one you have.